Yeah, it's rewind time.
Every single week I get YouTube ads for sobbing loudly in a corner, and it's like, bro, I just can't believe that I can't believe that
How do they know?
So good.
We should Doplex introduce the plod the
plod
the
Introduce the
plodcast.
plodcast. Okay, I can do that. Hey, we're here with SumitoMedia. Go ahead and start the show.
Yeah,
Man.
sure thing. Before we start up, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Hey,
Guys, ad friendly for the first
Sure.
few minutes.
oh yeah, perfectly living .us. Get 15% off your first 3 cards using discount code Doplex. Today
Yeah.
we're joined by
Yeah.
Lars from Norway, Doplex, and many kudos. I think it's weird that you guys decided to be guests on your own podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
bold
definitely a
choice.
unique take. It's like when
But-
the ending of an anime starts with the ending credits to signify that it's the last
Right.
episode.
Yeah, we're trying to push the medium forward. Trying to break some boundaries.
Wait, is that anything that happens?
I haven't actually seen that as a trope in anime, but I've seen like
Yeah.
meme animes make fun of that trope, and now I just assume that that's something that happens in anime. But they could just be pulling a fast one on me
Right.
for all I know.
Sure, yeah. Wouldn't it be fun if you went to, what did you say, completely not .com?
Yeah, the ad-friendly one, yeah.
And like but it was like, that was just real. Like it, but they're not it wasn't lying.
that would
Like
that,
you make
that's a hell of a
Yeah.
URL. That's true. If our discount
It
code
was like a
works,
porn site.
like it, whatever FBI guy is re-going over this audio, that our discount code doesn't work. Don't try it. We're
Well,
unassociated
Lars
with
is
them.
actually our resident FBI guy.
Oh, sick.
We cut out the
from
middleman.
Norway.
From Norway.
Can I have access to my files? I always tilt my webcam away when I jerk off, and I feel like the angle sometimes catches like the top of my head.
Imagine if you started a podcast with your NSA agent. You're like, well, may as well get to know him.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that would be the Nardwuar thing because he knows everything about you.
He is the fucking
Yeah,
feds,
but he-
bro.
Yeah.
But he's desperately trying not to let on that he knows that much. Like
Yeah.
you know he's an NSA agent, but he doesn't know that you know.
Right. Yeah. He just like
So
dropping
it's like-
subtle hints like, so you like rabbits, right? And like penises going into rabbits. Just scouring the depths of your worst possible search history. Lars
Hey,
is familiar.
speaking of,
Yes.
you mentioned before jerking off onto a webcam. And wait, there's a question I have for you guys. Do you cover your webcam when you're not using it?
I disconnect my camera whenever I'm not recording. Yeah.
Oh, sure. You got the full Monty.
I just
Yeah,
point
like-
mine towards the ceiling. There's nothing to see up there.
Oh, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a post-it over mine because I can't be bothered unplugging it. But I probably should. One of
No.
my friends has an Apple sticker that he always keeps over his.
Yeah, they make little
His camera.
sliding like laptop cover things. It's just like a piece of
Yeah.
like plastic on plastic, and it adheres over your webcam, and then there's a top bit of plastic that you slide on and off to sort of cover it and uncover it when you are and are not using. And I
Right.
just
Hmm.
think people need to evolve past jerking off on a laptop at this point. You know what I mean? You have a phone.
we got phones. I mean, you could even like regress to some extent. Just go buy a used PSP. Use that.
Bro. Jack,
Oh, I thought you were going to say really regress and just buy a magazine like a troglodyte.
jacking off to slowly loading GIFs on a fucking PSP was peak 2000, whenever the fuck that was. I don't know what to do with these
It
memories.
really was. And like to top it off, you're stealing neighbors' Wi-Fi. Yeah.
God,
I never
that's
did
tough.
it on a DS, but I wish I knew that was possible because I don't think we had Wi-Fi till kind of late.
Nah, you had to draw it yourself, and the boobs ended up kind of jagged. It was a fucking mess trying to jerk off on a DS. You got the two screens, and you might as well just have none, if I'm being honest.
You're just sexting through PictoChat.
Hey, baby, send Nintendo punned nudes. That was better. I could have thought of one.
It's okay. You're still great
That's
to
all
us.
right. I will say on the topic of NSA, the weirdest thing happened to me, and it makes me think that covering your webcam doesn't even do anything because they can just listen. And here is undeniable proof, okay? Because I've never seen an ad for a desk before. I don't know if you guys have ever seen an ad on YouTube for a desk. I was just saying out loud like, oh, I'm working from home. I should probably get like a new desk. And then I got an ad on YouTube for a desk. It's such a specific thing that like,
Yeah.
you know, I can't imagine a
has to have
company
been.
putting marketing into like desk ads.
So you're saying that YouTube was very helpful?
Yeah, but like in a creepy way. You know, it's like they could have just.
Well, whatever
I don't
gets
know.
the job done. I mean,
I guess.
But it's creepy.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
like it.
creepy. I don't like it.
Every single week I get YouTube ads for sobbing loudly in a corner, and it's like, bro, I just can't believe that I can't believe that
How
they've
do they
gotten
know?
so good.
What does that entail? Is it like telling you how to do it or like tips or
I don't know.
how do you have an ad for?
It comes in a box. I haven't ordered one. I have ordered one. I'm worried what happens when I open it.
Would it be funny if like there was a workout ad that it just made your screen go black and it was just like, look at you, you fat piece of shit.
That is a meme, I think. I
That
think
was what I
it's,
saw the other day.
what is it? Somebody,
Whereas
it's
the
like
guys-
when the video ends and you're just staring at yourself in the black
Oh,
screen.
yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I saw another one the other day that was like, it was a piece of wood that had been cut in half and it looked like a dog's face. And someone was like, oh, it looks more like a sad pig to me. And then the reply says, turn on your monitor. I was like, damn.
Damn.
Bing.
What
Damn.
the fuck?
Damn.
I thought you need a
Damn,
weapons
Daniel.
license for that shit. Holy fuck. You can just comment that on the internet?
On the topic of creepy phones, for a while, me and my friends were testing it. We should probably try it again, actually. But we were like, let's say something that none of us would ever talk about or need, but like we'll just bring it up and see if that affects it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for the longest time, we were talking about baby food. I want to purchase baby food because none of us have babies. So we're like, well, if we get recommended baby food ads, then definitely some shit's going down.
Obviously.
Get some ad for some weird sex trafficking website.
How do you know it's weird? Have we tried it?
Definitely not cutupcorpses.com or whatever.
Yeah. Buy a baby.
I've already
Alright,
forgotten
no.
our discount code.
Yeah, what the we're awful at sponsorships. Hey, speaking of, you just had your first sponsorship.
I did.
Was it your first?
It is my first sponsorship, yeah.
Congratulations. It was very good. I'm proud of you, man. You're
Hey,
making
thanks. Yeah, it completely
Yeah.
tanked my audience retention, and I have no semblance for whether or not that's normal. So, you know,
it. Fuck yes.
YouTube for the win.
Hell yeah.
That's what's up. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. The money overcomes any amount of audience retention. Actually, the strategy early on is to take the money you get paid for the sponsorship and pay people to keep watching.
Ooh.
Every single viewer.
Yeah. If you watch this to the end, I'll give you $2.
Have you seen that fucking clip of I've forgotten his first name, but the British dude whose last name is Mitchell? He's like the on Mitchell and Webb.
Brian Mitchell.
Is it Brian? Brian doesn't sound right. Maybe it is. But he's on one of those British TV shows where, you know, like all they do is talk to each other and the
Yeah.
comedy emits from the conversation. Somebody was like, you know, if you ever see a bee that's like too tired to fly, like just like, I guess bees just roll around on the ground when they're out of mana or something, you can like revitalize them by giving them a bit of honey. And that was like a fact that they were sharing. And then Mitchell's like, isn't it also true that like a bee only produces like a quarter teaspoon of honey in its entire lifetime? So it's like if you're starting to use honey to revitalize bees, like immediately you just run out of all the honey in the world because you've just started spending honey on
Yeah,
making
sure, yeah.
insignificant amounts of honey from those bees.
Speaking of honey,
Use discount code the first on nordisp.cu.
That's
There we go.
We got to start
DAF.
writing these down, man.
How many teaspoons was it?
I think he said like a quarter teaspoon or a half teaspoon. It's not much, was his point.
Okay, but it's a bee, so it's like that's like the equivalent to me coming like a gallon at once.
This is
that's-
true.
Oh,
Well, over the course of the lifetime of the bee, you guys think you could do a gallon over the course of your lifetime?
Well, the lifetime of a bee is like 2 days.
What? No, you're thinking of houseflies or Nah, I won't make that joke. But you're thinking of houseflies.
Make the joke.
No, I wanna know
Make
what
the
it
joke.
is.
I wanna hear it
I
now.
don't want to make the joke.
say the joke. Make the joke.
You're thinking of either bees or children in Uganda. It's not
Oh.
Oh. How much? Wait, speaking of you coming a gallon, how much do you think you've come over your entire life?
Probably about a gallon.
And about a gallon?
Yeah.
How much
Fuck,
is a gallon?
That's a tough one, man.
Yeah,
I
it's
want to look
tough.
back and be like, okay, what does 10 times look like? What does 100 times look like? And then try and like estimate a number. But
Right.
the number's gonna like, even if I can get a pretty accurate, the number's 33,000. Like that it's not gonna. What the fuck do you do?
Mean
What
anything?
if I actually get an educated guess on I've splooged like, a quarter gallon? The only thing that's gonna be in my head every time I jerk off from now on is like, bro, this is nothing. This isn't even close to what I'm capable of. You know what
gotta
I mean?
pump those numbers up.
Such a
It's so
disappointment.
insignificant. You're like
One napkin,
apologizing.
that's all this takes. I fucking hate it here.
I have always like wondered like because okay, so I used to work at an adult store and I've brought this up so many times, but like we sold these pills called Max Load, and basically what it was a pill that you take. Well, I guess it was more of a supplement. So you take it over the span of like a few days, and you don't come at all. Like you just keep building it up. It's like fucking Goku's spirit bomb.
Oh, zinc
Oh.
tablets. Yeah, that's what those are.
Is that what it is?
The porn stars take them. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
industry thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then pretty much you're supposed to like be able to fill like an Otter Pop sleeve in one load. It's just
Bruh.
like a massive fucking. Yeah, I've never tried it, but I heard that it's a good way to get some DIY bukakis in your living room.
Bruh. So I had my fucking appendix explode like last month, 2 months. I don't know how long it's
Oh
been.
yeah, that was
Jesus.
epic.
Yeah, I had my so
He did it for the meme.
I got
To see if cum would come out.
Yeah. So I thought I had a stomach ache. So like 4 or 5 years ago, I had like a really bad stomach ache, like incapacitatingly so. Like I was up all night, and I ended up seeing
Yeah.
the doctor the next day when she was available, and she was like, "Oh, you're like constipated and gassy." And I was like, "Dude, my stomach feels like I'm dying." And she's like, "Yeah, that's what gas pains feel like. They're like in you, so they hurt real bad.
Searing gas pain land.
But you're gonna be
Yeah.
okay. Just let it pass through your system. I'm hearing noises in your stomach. That means stuff is moving. You'll be fine." And a few days later, I was right. So just last month, similar pain, right? And I feel sick. My stomach hurts like hell. I don't eat vegetables for fuck all. You know what I mean? So I'm like unhealthy stomach movements. Like this is my fault, right? I go
Right.
buy some vegetables. I lay down. I deal with it. One day during that time, my stomach hurts like crazy, right? And then like an hour into it, it starts to relieve. And I was like, okay, the gas pain's moving through. We're going to be okay. And the pain just doesn't go away. And I'm like trying to use the bathroom. Nothing's coming out. 4 or 5 days I get into this. I end up going to the ER. I'm like, fuck this. This is ridiculous. Go to the ER. They're like, yeah, it's probably gas pains. Like, it's sort of weird that your stomach still hurts, but maybe you were super tense. I don't know. We'll wait for the CAT scans. CAT scans come back. My appendix exploded. And they were like, oh, this is
Jesus.
you. They were like, yeah, this is bad. You need surgery like now. Take me to surgery. Anyway, so my stomach had hurt for like a week. I'm in the hospital for a week. I'm recovering at my mom's place for a week. So at this point, I get back to my apartment, and it has been close to 3 weeks or so since I have jerked off, right? I don't know if I've ever gone that long in my life without splooging, right? But let me just say,
Even until you were 10? or whatever?
porn star level, like I've never come that much in my life. It was photogenic, bro. Aesthetic. I wish I had recorded it. Honestly, it was impressive.
Did it make a sound when it was coming out?
I made a sound when it was coming out.
It was like a faucet.
It was ridiculous. I have never seen that texture. I have never seen that color. It was ridiculous. I don't know why I kept it to myself.
Looks like your appendix wasn't the only thing that exploded.
Heyo, good. Don't hit it. Click one of the buttons. Go any of them. Go. Perfect. Totally heard that.
Fantastic. Damn, 3 weeks. I think the longest I've had in recent week was like 1 or 2 weeks. I think I might have told this before, but I was in, it's because I was on holiday. I went to Australia for a little bit and I was hanging out with friends and like I just didn't find the time to. because I'm not that much of a freak. And then I went on a beautiful Bali trip with my family, which was very lovely. And I didn't really have much time to myself, but there was one day where I did, and I was like, you know what, this has been like 2 weeks. I should probably make the most of this time alone
before you get superpowers.
I
Yeah.
should probably get rid of this.
Yeah, I went on tried to go on like Pornhub or something, and it was like, this is blocked by the Indonesian government, and I was like, fuck.
Did they barge in?
That's like, I know there's probably easy ways around that. Like, you could probably just go on Twitter and like find a random porn account. I doubt they'd ban they've got that good of a filter.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if you guys know who Chappelle Corby is, but she's she's kind of a famous person in Australia. She was, I don't know the full story, so sorry if I fucked this up, but she got done with like smuggling like a shitload of weed from Indonesia back to Australia, or maybe from Australia to Indonesia. She says that it was like put into her bag, like she had no recollection of it. Bali or Indonesia is the kind of place where I think you can literally get put to death for having weed. So,
Jesus.
It's one of those kind of places. So she was in jail for she didn't get put to death for whatever reason, but she was in jail for about 20 years. She got released like a year or two ago. But that was like such a big thing. And Bali's such a big tourist destination for Australia. And I was just like, I don't want to be the Chappelle Corby of porn. Like, I don't want to be the guy who like circumvents the porn filters just for like Indonesian policemen to barge in and like arrest me, and then everyone back in New Zealand and Australia knows me as the guy who was arrested for porn.
The guy who tried to come in Bali.
Dude, I thought this fucking story was going to end with you not finding porn, but then seeing a news article about her being released and she had a bit of cleavage showing, so you had to just jerk it for that.
That's what I thought.
This isn't even close to how I thought this story was going to end. What the fuck?
I know, it's a twist. It's a twist. But anyway, I came back home and
M. Night kudos over here.
You crank it to her mugshot.
it was getting to that level.
Yeah. Oh, I could see cheekbones.
So Sumito,
What's going on?
what the hell do you do, man? What's up?
I wish I had a good fucking answer for that. I don't know if I
Who
do
the
anymore,
fuck
dude.
are you?
What the fuck is this bullshit, man?
I've got a YouTube channel. I make videos. I used to be able to describe them. I don't know if I can anymore, man. I just kind of upload, like, fuck. How the fuck? You ever see a PewDiePie video? So it's like if you took one of those and you added in Dane Cook stand-up comedy, but then multiplied it by like Markiplier's forehead and then subtracted Sniper Wolf from it. Like that, I think that covers it. It's basically that.
Yeah, you also run a successful Facebook page, a meme Facebook page.
Yeah, that's a website I go on.
It's called, what is?
I'll give you $20 if you can remember the whole title. $20 if you can remember the whole title.
Funny haha. Oh fuck! I've already missed. Funny ha-has and he-he's for women over 30. Oh no, yeah, I've already fucking.
It was something like a ha-ha or he-he for a ha-ha or laugh when you're feeling down for women over 30, something like that. For those of you at home that don't get this reference, welcome to the show.
Which is everyone,
right? Me and Kudos like a year ago did a video where we made a Facebook page specifically trying to trick people into thinking that we were sharing boomer memes or trying to make boomer memes in a way that didn't give us away as two Zoomers making boomer memes. Brilliant watch.
Yeah.
You should check it out.
It was a good video. Not Lars found it in the chat. A smile when you're down, ha-has and he-he's for women over 30.
Is it true that that's the biggest Facebook page to ever hit the internet? Is that true?
It is, actually.
Yes.
Well, because when we made it, it had like 20 likes or 30 likes of people watching it. But like since videos have started popping off a bit, I think it's now got like 500 or 600 likes on Facebook. So it's actually not doing too bad.
Is it being like
All these
updated?
I don't know. If Kudos has been updating it.
Oh,
I did one stream where I added more to it, but that was not long after we made it. But I don't think I've done anything since. I mean, but hey, it could be the time to. Round 2, baby.
Yeah, it's true. I hear boomers are coming back into the meta.
yeah. Boomers are getting a buff patch.
Yeah, they're just like waking up from their nap from 9 months ago and trying to be relevant
Yeah.
again. Oh, the internet's. How old are boomers? Is that the right voice for a boomer? I don't care.
No, I think that.
No,
well,
I think it's kind of like
starting to be.
this.
There you go.
I'm a boomer.
I don't know if boomers need more buffs. They already own like all of the money.
That's true. They need a nerf.
Absolutely need a nerf.
Yeah.
Nerf boomers. Tax all boomers. That's what I say. Regardless of how much money they make, a flat 50% tax.
Thumbtacks, boomers.
Exactly.
Put them in their head.
Oh, Jesus. We don't condone this.
I think that deflates them, Doplex. This
that's right.
kills the boomer. Yeah, that's the sound.
Yes. Well, anyway, Sumito, I guess you could say your name should be Sumito because you primarily cover meme-themed content. Actually, someone change his name to Sumito, please. Thank you. On the Discord.
We'll leave it in the podcast notes for those of you listening to the audio-only version. Just imagine that my name's being changed to Sumimto. Spell it how you like. Let's go. Yo, was that Doe Baby?
No, that was the baby. It's his cousin.
Yeah.
How many buttons are in front of you, Doplex? Like, do you have a Stream Deck, or are you just randomly hitting keys on a separate thing that you've linked up and then learn with us what they do?
Yeah, so I have a Rodecaster, and it's just a bunch of colored little pads that I don't really look at anymore. I just kind of press a key and just whatever happens.
Pizza time.
And yeah.
Nice.
Now push all of them at once. That's an experience.
Dude, you're gonna wake up a fucking sleeper agent in the audience, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah. That's the code for all. That's like the default code for all MK Ultra agents.
That's what brings Leafy back to fucking YouTube. Is that sound?
I just hit them all.
Yes, what do I need?
Hey, what's up, fuckers? It's Leafy.
Oh, I forget Doplex has a fucking spot-on Leafy impression.
I don't know what he sounds like.
Kind of sounds like this, sort similar to the boomer.
I got
That's your voice for everyone. That's the voice you did for Sumito when we announced he was coming on.
That's true, yeah.
What? I did? That was me. That wasn't him doing an impression of me. I did the intro. Anyway, listen. As the host of this thing, I got some questions for you guys.
Yes, please.
What up?
Ah, fuck. Should have thought of a question before making that joke. That would have been nice. What the fuck do you do now?
What's the longest meme?
The longest meme?
Full stop.
Yeah, you heard.
What's
you
the
heard me.
longest meme?
What's the best hentai? I watched Sydney's episode just before this. The longest
she's
meme.
great.
How do we describe? So fuck. Might be Rage Comics. We could call those the longest. I mean, I want to just give it to Longcat. I think he died this year or something, or last year.
Wait, really?
Yeah, something like that.
He erected into heaven.
Yeah, man. I saw it on Twitter. Keyboard Cat too. That was like 3 years ago. Keyboard. We're running out of cats, man.
We are.
Oh,
We
yeah.
need new
What
cats.
Grumpy Cat died.
That was his fault.
What was it?
Fucking sarcastic asshole. Hate that one.
Well, what
Yeah.
about the Subspace Emissaries World Conquest?
Was that a meme though? And that was more of a. It was just a fanfic.
But it had 3.5 million words.
Does anyone
It's the
fuck
longest-
in that?
That's a lot of words.
That's a lot of words.
That's because there's two of them, right? Because there's the one we looked this up then. Where there's one that's just like a lot of copy pasted bullshit, which like doesn't really count, and then there's one where it's like actually like 3.5 million unique. You know,
What is
like
3 million
story beats
words?
of-
As a dude who doesn't read, like how many words are in a book? Like how many words are in a Harry Potter book? Is it a lot?
How much longer is it? It's like multiple times War and Peace, isn't it?
I don't have
Yeah,
that.
it's
Guys, give me a
221
ref-
chapters.
Give me a
it's-
reference to
many
something I
words
actually know.
in a
How many words are in a
book?
tweet, and how many tweets are in a book, and how many books are in a fanfic?
Okay, for
Here,
reference,
I'm
War and Peace,
Googling
which is
this.
traditionally viewed as one of the longer books out there, has about 580,000 words.
500,000. Okay.
So this Super Smash Brothers Brawl fanfic is 7 times longer than that.
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty
Well,
impressive.
yeah. What is it in relation to the Buble? That's probably a good point of reference. We've all looked at a Buble in a hotel bedside table.
Oh, are you saying Bible?
Bible.
What the fuck is
okay.
happening?
I thought
Bible,
you were-
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Am I having
I
a
thought it was just some
stroke?
like Aussie slang.
The Buble.
The buble. It means like a hamburger or something in Aussie.
Here's my favorite passage from the Buble.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's apparently there's around 800k views. Oh my god,
Subscribers.
Yo, the
Die.
Bible's
Bible
going
has
viral. What the fuck?
This testament brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
It's like got like featuring like all all the writers, like in the title.
They're tagged.
Anyway.
The land of milk
Yeah.
and honey.com discount code Jesus Christ.
That was good. So, okay, so what if the Bublé's got like 800k likes, then this means that the stupid fan fiction is what, like 5-6 times longer than that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's intense. I mean, that's something that somebody's been like adding on to over and over again, like over the course of several years or something,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's like a 13-year-old who started writing it and now they're 17 and they finished it and they're like, I'm not touching this again. Get it away from me. Have you guys seen r/men writing women or
No.
any of the?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bro, it's brilliant. Like they're like roasting the way that dudes like try and write women. Like they'll try and give them like some sort of depth to their character, but it's like almost always rape, and they just can't get away from describing their boobs. So it's
Yeah.
like they'll make fun. They'll be like, here's my impression of a man writing a female character. Her breasts were large but small at the same time. Though she was aging, she still felt young at heart. She hid a terrible secret. She was infertile, but that didn't stop her from exploring her sexuality with men and women, but she could never let her parents know.
Yeah. Her boobs boobily in the wind.
Exactly.
Her boobs fell off.
But now, so the men writing women, very funny. As a connoisseur of anime and anime associated acts,
And
what
women.
do you think about men drawing women though? Because I feel like that subreddit probably needs to calm down a bit.
I mean, on one hand, tits, right? Full stop.
Tits.
But on the other hand, it's like, I mean, how realistic do you need to be, you know? Like, they'll take, I say they, like whoever's bitching about it on Twitter, will take an image and they'll be like, guys, where's the room for her organs? Like, she's literally 95% boob, and like ignore the fact that she has superpowers. It's like, why is this what we're being realistic with? You know what I mean?
That's true.
3 minutes into this anime, she's killing God, and they're just like, guys, come on, look at her cleavage. This is unrealistic. Get out of here. Nobody looks like this.
The thing that tilts me as a fucking artist by trade is it's like a lot of people confuse like style with like I get it. Obviously, if your style is for all the women to have massive tits and tiny waist, then I guess there's something to be said there. But it's like all the characters, usually when they critique it, all the characters are exaggerated, like men and women and animals and fucking houses, and like everything is silly proportions anyway. So yeah, I always feel like it's like it's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's
It's-
that one movie, B-Stars or whatever? Like where they got like
B
fucking,
movie.
You gotta
Yeah, B-movie,
describe it,
that's it.
Doplex. We can go a lot of directions with this one, bro.
You know, it's like a very realistic animal head, but then like sexy body for some reason.
Nope, not B-Stars. You're just thinking of hentai.
You're
Oh,
literally
yeah,
thinking
You're
of B
literally,
movie.
you're literally. This is my impression of Doplex. That last sentence, right? Have you guys seen that anime, Dragon Ball Z, with the dude who's got the sword and he like kills his entire family and then spends the rest of the movie on a boat with a tiger?
Yeah, that's yeah.
That's you totally described a real thing there,
Yeah.
Doplex.
Yeah, I did.
It was like almost. It was like a fraction off. He was like 2 clicks to the left, but like his heart was in the right place.
Yeah, it was.
What
It
is he
always
thinking
is.
of though? Animal faces, but super. It was an anime, or you're thinking of like an old school
Yeah.
like Flash video game or something?
No, it's an anime. People always fucking come about it on Twitter. It's like the rabbit, but like it's kind
the
of like
beasts and stuff.
it's like a Japanese Zootopia.
If you Google bestiality, I think it'll come up.
He is thinking of B-Stars, but he just described it as a dude who hasn't seen B-Stars, and that's why I got confused.
I have it.
Okay. You described as someone who hasn't seen B-Stars but has seen B-movie.
The funny
Yeah.
thing about that anime is that there's exactly one scene where they sort of sexualize that rabbit character because that's her character. That's like how she vibes for attention, and the whole fucking story plays around it. But the rest of it's just literally a romance anime.
Oh.
So it's like so funny to like watch it, see it have this sort of cutesy ending, and then people are like, yo, isn't that the one where the dude fucks the rabbit? And it's like, that doesn't even happen. And when it almost does, it's emotional. Fuck you guys.
And it happens online if you look it up.
Exactly.
But like, like looking at this, right? Like here, I'm going to post it in a recording chat. Like this image right here. It's like, why the fuck do their faces look like that? But like their bodies are like not like that. it looks like Zootopia for fucking horny people. But then again, Zootopia is kind of Zootopia for horny people.
I think Zootopia is probably more for horny people than Beastars.
That's
absolutely.
true,
Disney, Pixar, Lionsgate knew exactly what the fuck they were doing with that one, bro.
Yeah.
You don't just fucking give a rabbit those kind of thighs and then explicitly show how much smaller she is to everyone else by accident. Oh, we were just trying to be realistic. Shut up.
I wonder how much like Disney or Pixar has influenced people's like sexuality over the years.
Oh, 100%.
Because I definitely.
You mean like animation
and
studios
Pixar?
in general? Anybody making stuff for kids is fucking working. Any fucking time you watch something with skin tight suits or somebody getting inflated like a balloon, you know that's going to change a kid eventually. They're not completely against that.
Totally Spies, where that was
exactly
just like
that's exactly what I was describing.
Much,
yeah.
It's so weird that like looking back on that, because I remember watching it as a kid, but not that much. Just like sometimes when it was on, because I was like, oh, it's for girls. But then looking back on it, it's like maybe it wasn't for girls. Maybe it was for me secretly.
They were pretty badass, TBH.
Yeah, they were. They were like they were like Powerpuff Girls for like slightly older kids. That's how I remember them.
I feel like Powerpuff Girls was ironically like better written though. Like I think Powerpuff Girls was like, they were like, yo, we know this is going to look ridiculous, so let's slide in some material that like adults will be able to appreciate, because they're not going to be able to justify watching this unless it's a little bit smart. And so they throw that shit in. And then like Totally Spies is like, oh, we'll make it look like it might be an okay show for everyone. And then the writing is just dog shit. Yeah. And it's like, well, I mean, you can't do
and
both.
Then it's just every fetish.
Yeah, man. Gigantism, fucking... I don't even remember what is like flashing through my head. I saw a TikTok or a Vine or somebody making a joke on Twitter that was like, yo, where'd you get your fetishes? And it's a bunch of flashes of, I don't remember what the show was. I wish I did. And
where'd you get your fetishes?
That stuff, yeah, it's like, yo, that was definitely fucking aimed at kids. It might have been fucking Rocco's Modern Life now that I think about it. I feel like that might have been the show. They had a lot of crazy shit in that.
She had that dump truck.
That's the only way to describe it.
Oh, Rocco, look at my ass that is just constantly in frame.
The writers knew what they were doing.
Yeah, Teach points out that Robin Hood, I'm assuming the furry one, probably was like looking back on all the shows as a kid where it was like furry shit, but as a kid you're like, oh cool, they're like, it's like a cool talking wolf and a fox and things. But now you look back on it and you're like, that was definitely someone's awakening.
Yeah,
that influenced some people to do some shit.
You think they did that? I mean, it is possible that big Hollywood is run by like furry elitists that want to like preserve the appreciation of furryism. But how much of it do you think is like, you know, if they make it sort of realistic or very humanoid, they sort of have to play by certain rules. But if they make them all animals, they can get away with more risque stuff they wouldn't be able to do otherwise. You know what I mean? Like if it's like a kid's show and like the wolf character's got like fat tits, and it's like, well, obviously we wouldn't be able to do this if it was just a human, but it's a wolf. It's all a joke. Don't worry, guys. There's probably a little bit of that, right?
Point. Yeah,
that's a good point.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, on the topic of furries, I remember I had my sexual awakening via Newgrounds, the adult section on Newgrounds.
Yeah,
and
same.
I vividly remember a Flash game called, I think it was Hightail High.
Oh,
and it was
God, Doplex, bruh.
And it was...
Before we do this, because this pisses me off every other time that we talk about something from like people's childhood, just a flat reference for everybody. How old is everyone, if you're okay with sharing?
I am 28.
27.
27? Doplex, you're what?
28.
I'm 26. Lars, how old are you?
32.
32. So for anybody at home like relating to this or not being able to relate with this, here's a reference for what age range you should be in to figure out if you missed this part of the internet. But bruh.
Exactly.
Oh, yo, I thought that looked familiar. That sounded familiar. I just looked it up. Yeah, I fully played this as well.
Everybody's sexual awakening was funnygames.biz. I made this joke when we made our Facebook page, kudos, because that's where this was hosted. But you didn't react to it, so I didn't continue on with the story. I was like, fuck it, let's just go back to the Facebook page. I remember fucking searching up. I loved it because they had a category for adult games, but you could literally find the website by just typing in funny games into Google. And it's like, nobody's going to be able to fucking track me now, bitches. True. What are you going to do? Check my search history? I was looking for funny games. Can't ground me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was like the top-rated game forever. God knows why. Maybe because it was the best made because they didn't have to try and be realistic. But it's literally just this Flash game where you're like, a guest at a hotel and all these animals in the hotel lobby are like, yo, man, I got a room here. And it's like, well, let's see if I can click the right dialogue options. I don't know why. It was the number one game for like 6 fucking years. Everybody fucking knows Hightail High.
Yeah, I think they made
awesome.
a sequel, or they were going to make a sequel.
It was awful. I'm so disappointed. The developer ran out of money. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. But yeah, I remember just like being so.
It's one dude. Like, how much horse tits can you draw as a guy? You know.
Yeah.
Horse tits.
But that's the thing. They had like weird fucking animals in there that you would never even think to sexualize.
Like,
I remember
you like boob fuck a parrot or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or you get like a foot job from a jaguar. It's like, what is this? I don't know, but I have a bone.
Somebody's just doing their best.
Yeah, that's true. Shout out to Hightail High.
By the way, Sumeto, thanks for asking our age in a way where you didn't also say, "Oh, by the way, I'm not a pedophile." Like, like fucking Sydney last week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Sydney like genuinely didn't know how old you guys were. So like, for all she knows, like Kudos and Doplex might have been fucking 17. Like, I don't know how familiar she was with you guys, but like I've seen Kudos and Doplex's stuff before, and I think like just by seeing their face, I was like, oh no, they're my age. I think they're my age.
Yeah, something's wrong with them. Yeah, that is a very real like thing on the internet though. Like I remember the group chat that I met Doplex in, that you were also in Sumito back in the day. There were like people in that, and I just kind of assumed because most people in that were like in their 20s or 30s.
I assumed,
but
yeah.
But then like I'm not like, I didn't post anything stupid, obviously, but you just assume everyone was the same age. And then all of a sudden one day someone will be like, yeah, I'm 17 or some shit. And you're like, what the fuck? I thought all of you guys were,
dude,
on
like,
my level.
How quickly you become associated and connected with people as like a YouTuber or content creators. Like if you fucking follow somebody back on Twitter and they follow you and you're both content creators, like people just think you're friends now, like immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, yeah, you kind of have to keep an eye out.
You kind of tell after a while the way people talk. You can definitely like, you're like, oh, this guy's a bit weird, and then you find out that they're like, just like
they
16 or 18.
They care
or
too much about stuff.
Yeah,
like, dude, the fucking politics in the UK, blah blah blah, and their fucking age is like bisexual, 14 and a half. And it's like, dude, shut up, get off the internet.
You don't know enough about the world yet to really decipher what action that is.
You haven't tried to speed run Donkey Kong Country. You don't know shit about internet.
You haven't not jizzed for 3 weeks and had your appendix burst.
I wouldn't recommend it. Like, if I'm being honest, neither one of those things were a ton of fun.
Right.
I was gonna say, like, was the 3 week thing or Dopex's zinc jizz pills? Like, does it feel like when you really, when you've been busting a piss or like you really need to shit after like you're just being out for ages and you can't?
Not if your mind's off it. No, like the week before I went to the hospital, like my stomach was hurting, so like I wasn't in the mood to fucking sit down and jerk off. I was like focusing on like what the fuck's wrong with me. And then obviously in the hospitals, like they don't lock the doors, so it's like I don't want a nurse walking in on me. None of them are hot. Right. And the week after, I'm at my parents' place, so it's like I'm, like at my parents' place, I was like I had my phone and shit. Even in the hospital, I was like browsing by stuff, and I was like, let me not look at this particular jiggly GIF on Twitter like I would otherwise, because I don't have a relief option here. But no, it wasn't until I got back to my place and I was like, bro, no, it wasn't even that. It was just like, hey, I feel like it's been a while. Fucking threw up a video. Like there were no urges during any of it, I feel. But my mind was off it. I feel like if I worked at fucking Hooters as a manager and for some reason couldn't jerk off for 3 weeks despite like being able to, I just chose not to, and I had like visual fucking stimulus all around me, then that'd be totally different.
Yeah. I think the trick is to work at an adult store like me, because then you become completely desensitized to everything because you're just surrounded by weird shit all day.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe the Hooters guy would be the opposite effect, where he just doesn't give a shit anymore. Like he's just like, oh, yep.
That might be it, yeah.
He just hates boobs now.
You got saggy skin on your chest. Good for you.
Dude's got a point. Overrated, honestly. More of an ass man myself.
I'm more of a 401k man myself.
By the way, I've been having like health problems today, so I've been like zooming in and out of this conversation the entire time and just kind of like halfway here. But I did want to bring back a segment that we haven't done for a while.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Now that I remember it, and that is Lars's Purchase Corner.
Lars's Purchase Corner.
Largest
bought an ass
corner.
Lars has contributed to the economy yet again. What did he find on his mini trips?
Yeah.
2 walls connecting at an angle. That's a corner.
Yeah, you're
We'll
right.
take the extended version this time. All right. So,
Wait, there's one more verse.
I'm a cool pro Fortnite gamer.
All right, continue.
oh,
That's
thanks.
a good one. God.
Okay, so
It's like,
not this week, but last week, I got 2 new things: a weighted blanket and
Okay.
a smart
Ooh.
plug.
I think
Are you
I
guys
have a
familiar
relevant
with what
green
these
text
are?
for both of these. I am, yeah.
Oh, okay.
weighted blankets, I've heard are good if you're autistic. Not saying you're autistic, but I have heard that is like
That was- that
that
was
is a
a joke.
genuine.
That was the
Oh.
green text I was referencing, yeah.
Oh.
One dude was
Yeah,
like,
so-
tried weighted blanket at my girlfriend's house, decided to buy one for myself, has been helping tremendously with my sleep, researched later that they're for autistic kids. Oh, God.
Well, I mean, it is true. I think it was in the 90s that they did research for this for autistic people, and it did help
They
have
put
like a
them in those
swaddling
hydraulic presses.
effect. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It is. Yeah. So anyway, so it turns
That
out
aside,
that they found out, I think in the 2010s, that like you didn't need to be autistic to enjoy the benefits of it. Like it turns out it's just
don't?
comfortable in general. Yeah.
and it turns out in the 2020s, I found out that it's good for people with big penises and lots of friends. And
Yeah, that's why I got one. And I gotta
Can you
admit,
imagine-
man, it's go ahead.
Imagine Lars in a fucking store and like they're like putting a weighted blanket on him as like a salesperson. But Lars is convinced that you can only enjoy it if you're autistic, so he's just refusing to indulge in the bliss that
he's
is
like,
a weighted.
no!
They're like, just
No!"
try it. Do you not feel more relaxed? I'm like, no, I hate this. I don't enjoy this at all. Get me out of here.
You're not autistic. He's just at one of those stores with like the foot massagers. You know what I'm talking about? At the
Brookstone.
mall.
The stores for autism people. Yeah.
Brookstone.
Yeah, those ones.
Yeah, Brookstone. Brookstone for autistic people. That's the name of the store. Thank you.
So
Just
it,
GameStop.
it turns
Purchase corner.
it turns out that they're just really pretty comfortable. Like I don't know how to describe it. It makes you sleep better. It just does.
They are
Like,
very
that's
comfortable. I
cool.
also have
I
one.
can imagine just like a big hug.
I
Yeah,
assumed
it
that
is.
it would just like keep you from like tossing and turning because that's always my biggest thing. Is like I'll be
Yeah.
like slightly sleepy and then I'll be like, yo, fuck my right side, and then I'll flip over and it's like, oh, I guess I gotta start over again.
How heavy is it though?
It's 15 pounds. So it's
they
not
come,
that
they
heavy.
come in different weights though.
yeah,
You get
they
really
do.
heavy
sure.
ones.
Like if you're super autistic, you get like the 30-pounder or something.
I don't think that's how it works.
They have like a spectrum measurement on the packaging for 7 and up.
Guys, we're gonna come across as huge assholes with this segment. I feel like I should trim this down.
You brought
Oof.
it up. That's
Yeah.
all you.
Listen, I'm fine with throwing as much B material at the wall as you want to. Chop it up how you like.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z. It's one of my greatest failures in life. But you know how they like wear like the weighted shit, or they go to the planet that's like heavier to
Yeah,
train,
yeah.
so that then when they go back to normal.
Yeah, it's
Do you
good for
reckon-
resistance training.
Yeah, do you reckon you could do that? Like you sleep, like, and then you take the weighted blanket off, and then you sleep like twice as good because then now you're like
Yeah.
free to sleep.
I've lost a lot of weight with it, yeah.
Turns your bed into the
Yeah.
hyperbolic time chamber. That'd be cool.
What?
That'd be a cool blanket to have. Yeah.
would be.
What was your second purchase?
I bought a smart plug.
What's a smart
So what
plug?
is that? Does it just have
So-
a USB thing on it?
You guys don't know what a smart plug is?
No.
I mean, you
I live
guys
in
could probably
Australia.
figure it out from context.
Yeah,
Well,
guys, listen.
yeah.
It's like a slightly higher IQ butt plug, like the like farm the really smart ones.
Connects to your phone.
No, you put
It's
it
like-
into you put it into a wall, and then you plug whatever you want to plug into the smart plug, and then the smart
Yeah.
plug's controlled from your phone.
Oh. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I was thinking like tooth tunes for your asshole. Like you put it in your ass and it just plays like, I don't know, fucking Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Areola Grande.
No, I haven't. It's like the use cases for it are pretty slim because you can really only use it for things that have like a binary state of on and off. But
Sure.
it is pretty useful for my fan because I turn it on a lot when I'm like working next to my computer because it gets hot. And so it's like it saves me 3 seconds for $7. I figure that's worth it.
Yeah, you
that
only-
adds up.
You only pay the
Yeah.
$7 once, and that's 3 seconds 40 times a day. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess it'd be good if you had like a plug way behind a desk or in some really fucking annoying place.
yeah, exactly. That 3 seconds
Interesting.
argument was like the fucking. I could not get this across to people when I used to sell computers. They'd be like, I don't understand. This computer's $2,000, and you're saying it's only 40% faster. Like, I'm paying twice the price. I'm like, you're not paying twice the price every fucking day that you turn it on, you actual goofball.
Exactly.
It's twice as fast all the time. Jesus Christ. Like, people are just buying video cards for the 40% improvement and then yeeting it out their fucking window after day one.
I will say some of the links people go to like save very minuscule amounts of time. Like there is definitely diminishing returns that we're like, in your instance, yes, you're right. Like that will add up over time and be worth it. But some people really bust their balls like setting everything up in such a way that it probably saves them like 20 seconds once every 3 weeks.
Oh, I have a great example of that. Do you remember there was like a 3-month period of time? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it was iPhones that were doing this, but it was Android developers. They were trying to justify like having a second kind of dumb phone in addition to your smartphone that you'd only pull out for texts and stuff. But then,
No,
remember this?
I don't recall
I don't
this.
remember that.
Yeah, well, it was like a really short trend.
What was the thinking? Was this like when texting was expensive, or what was the logic behind that?
Well, no, the idea is that smartphone batteries suck, so it's like you wouldn't necessarily want to pull out. It's stupid, so keep that in mind. But it's like,
Right.
oh, you don't necessarily want to pull your main phone out to do a trivial task and have it drain 3% of your battery.
True.
Whereas you could fire off a text on the second phone. It was really stupid, to be honest. Like,
That's fair. I mean, any excuse to bring back fucking Sidekick phones, I'm on board for.
Yeah.
oh, I missed my sidekick.
I just miss
Sidekicks
stuff
were the shit.
moving. You guys know what I'm
Yeah.
really excited for? Unironically, and I will. It's not really a debate because it's just sort of a stupid purchase. I want the new Galaxy Fold 3. You guys seen that
Oh,
one
those
that,
are pretty
that opens
sick.
like a fucking
Yeah.
book? The first two have a
Yeah.
real thin plastic cover, so I feel like I feel like it would scratch easily. But it just had some trailers leaked for it. So the new one's going to be ultra thin glass, like what they used in curved TVs. So it'll be just as like scratch resistant, and like it's going to have the S Pen. It's going to be this big folding thing. It looks like an absolute magnificent way to look at ass on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like 7.5 inches of screen in your pocket.
One cheek on each
Yeah.
side.
I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna justify a $2,200 phone, but I gotta get in touch with my guys.
Yeah.
That looks like the move. I just did you guys have one? Did you guys have a Sidekick?
Yeah.
Dude.
I honestly have no idea what that is.
Bro.
Maybe
Oh,
we
really?
didn't have them.
Google it and
New
look at
Zealand.
like a video or a GIF. Like don't look at
Yeah.
an image of one unless you already recognize that's what it is. But I remember they were like popular as phones
Oh, yeah.
before
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
old
yeah.
enough
I
to
know
have
this.
a phone.
Yeah.
So like I would see people with Sidekicks. I was like, that's the coolest fucking thing. The fucking sound that they make. Do I have anything on my desk to replicate it? It'd be like, nope, water bottle didn't work. Anyway, you'd swipe it open. Coolest shit in the world. You got this giant fucking
Yeah.
keyboard. Everybody would be using a little ball to scroll through their top 5 unlimited
Yeah.
texting friends on T-Mobile or whatever. And then by the time I got old enough to like have a cell phone or like my parents could justify buying me one, fucking they were on the iPhone 5.
Yeah.
I
Well,
completely
I
missed that
remember-
era.
On Sidekicks, you could even like customize the sound effects. So like when
Yeah.
you open and close it, like I remember I had like a Pokemon themed one, and it was really fucking cool. It was like you'd open it and it was like a Pikachu sound, and then you close
Right,
it, it was
that's
like a
cool.
different Pikachu sound. That shit was fucking awesome.
Doplex, if you think about it, sidekicks were the original fidget spinners.
They really were.
They were.
They kind of were. Dopix, if you got a Sidekick in 2021, what would the sound effect be that you'd program now?
So I'd open it and it would be like,
Oh my god.
and then I would close it, and then it would be like, I would close it and it would be like,
Sex.
that wasn't as,
I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah.
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 Another successful bit on the first podcast.
Another classic
I'd
banger.
open it again and it would be like,
There was doo-doo feces thrown all over the walls.
then I
It
close it.
stunk so bad.
You'd be like in a movie, like desperately, like you have to send an important text out of nowhere. You just remembered, and you have to slide it open.
Did you guys ever have a really obnoxious sound clip play whenever you like sent or received a message on AOL Messenger?
Oh.
Oh yes, I did actually. I had mine was on MSN because we didn't live in America, so we didn't have AOL. But on MSN, I downloaded a bunch of Homestar Runner like sound effect pack, because they did one where you could they released a Homestar sound pack that you could use to replace like all your computer's sounds and shit.
Yeah.
That is the most 2004 thing I've ever
I
heard in
know,
my life.
it's fucking it's so cool.
Sumita, that was one of the cool things about the Sidekick, though, is it was one of the first phones that really took aim into your pocket. Like other phones had done it, but the Sidekick was really set up for you to be able to chat with your friends on the go.
Right. Yeah. Just being able to message people back and forth that wasn't like a fucking candy bar, 9-key thing was still like a developing thing. Yeah.
Dude, I'm only now kind of getting around to actually enjoying smartphone typing since I got a new phone, because like back in high school, I was the king of touch typing. Like I could send entire text in my pocket without the teacher ever seeing, just from like touch alone. And I almost never got anything wrong. I had that shit down pat. So when I had to like suddenly learn to use like a little tiny fucking piddly, Android keyboard, I was like, fuck this. I can't touch type anymore. Although I guess that I didn't need to, but.
I do wonder if we had to revert back to like T9, if like people would understand it, You
mean like if we use
T9?
the shortcuts as well? T9 being the touch tone 9 keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with the 3 letters per, like, even, well, I guess it was even like post Sidekick that happened a little bit with like the LG chocolate phones. I don't know if you guys remember those.
I do.
But like, yeah, like I wonder if like people would still understand T9. I feel like they would. It's pretty self-explanatory.
We still use them on ATM machines and shit.
You're saying if they'd understand the text or understand how to use 9 keys to send a message to someone?
Yeah, because like obviously now we have like full on like QWERTY keyboards on our phone, but like
where are you bumping into? Yeah, like a phone that still has the letters on the numbers. Like, are there people that don't even know what that means anymore?
I guess
I
not.
think there was a wee while in the transitionary period you could set it up so that your like smartphone had the T9 shit, or at least had the 3x3 grid.
Oh, you probably still can.
They probably don't do that anymore.
No, yeah, there's probably like an app for it or something.
Oh, there's probably an app, but I don't
like one weird guy
anymore.
No, I mean if you look at your phone app right now, I've got the letters on the numbers. I mean that's always going to be there on my dialer
true.
app.
Oh yeah.
You ever like?
I guess you're right.
Like if you take like a 14-year-old right now and you show them an infomercial where the phone number at the end is a sentence, you think they'd even know what the fuck is happening? You know what I mean? Mom, it's supposed to be a phone number. It says 1-800-GET-PAID. What the fuck is that? Is that a website? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Actually.
On that topic, I fucking hate those React videos where it's just like, no, okay. You know the React videos where it's like showing a kid like a fucking Game Boy SP or whatever.
Oh, they're
like,
so cringe. They're so cringe.
But I'm always
Who
more
are they
cringing.
For? Like you're either as young as the kid and you also don't know what the thing is, or you're old enough to watch and be like, haha, stupid kids. God, I'm old. I need to apply for healthcare. Like, no part of that's going to make you feel good after watching.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the intended purpose.
Oh, guys, let Kudos talk. Jesus Christ.
I have nothing to say. I just like it pisses me off because like the kids themselves, I don't give a shit that the kids don't know what the fucking Game Boy is, because why the fuck would they? Like, it pisses me off when you go to these things and there's these fucking like Reddit assholes in the comments being like, these fucking children don't respect the Game Boy Advance SP. This generation is doomed. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't fucking, like, I was born in the 90s. Like, I know what a NES and a SNES is and shit. I recognize like how important they are for gaming and stuff, but like, I haven't played one, and that's fine. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's like, just the kids.
Yeah.
Of course they don't fucking know what a Game Boy is.
I had a guy get mad at me at work recently that I didn't really know what a BBS was.
What's a BBS?
Big,
exactly.
Bodied.
Case in point.
Well, it was like the old bulletin board system on the internet, kind of like before forums. It was like you accessed it with dial-up or something.
Sure.
Oh.
Wait, that's starting to sound familiar.
Yeah.
Is that what an RSS feed is? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm by far the oldest one here. That is way before my time, and I was like, he was like, "What? How do you not know?"
Yeah, I hate that shit, man. Like,
yeah,
because what you're saying is like, hey, you're becoming irrelevant, and they're like, no, I can't be irrelevant. Like that's the actual conversation that's going on.
The Seymour Skinner meme.
I worked at the lobby of an apartment building, and we had like a business center that had like computers and shit. And some lady asked me if I could help her send a fax. And I was like, lady, if you don't know how to send a fax, I'm not going to know how to send a fax. I'm 16. The fuck you want from me?
Yeah.
He's like, no, I've never done a fax before. I was like, bitch, I haven't either. The fuck? Like, what?
By the way, the Kashi serial voiceover guy, Matt, in the chat, actually brings up a good point.
Which you can type at discord.t1podcast.com if you want to tune into these episodes live.
Which is that he doesn't think that a modern kid would actually be confused by an old game console. Like, it's probably being played up for those kids' React videos. Because the core concept is pretty simple. I mean, it's like, oh, well, I don't know what to do. I'll press the power button. Like, it's like, they probably figure it out.
I don't think it's so much them getting confused. It's more them just being like, this sucks. Like, they'll start up a Game Boy and it'll like, it's objectively worse.
Yeah. Being
Switch.
the first to do something, but having it done like even slightly worse than like have you ever had somebody like recommend to you like the Godfather of some sort of music genre? And you've been like, listen, I mean, like, I'm happy that they're innovative, but this isn't fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, I need to appreciate this from like a music theory standpoint, but get out of my car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how the Beatles is.
You ever had someone play Death Grips for you and then just stare at you the whole time? Like, dude, stop it.
And also get out of my car. Yeah. No, it's the same principle. It's just like, yeah, okay, like I get it. When you were young, you had really good memories with the Game Boy or whatever, and like so did I. But I'm also not going to fault some 10-year-old who's never seen one before for saying that it's shit, because you have the Nintendo Switch these days, which is a fucking insane console that plays full 3D games anywhere you want. You know, I don't know. That just blows my mind. And then you just people post screenshots of their epic roast reply comment on Reddit, and it gets 1,000 upvotes. I'm like, all right, fuck this website.
He doesn't know what a Game Boy Advance is.
Well, it's like Hugbees was saying on his episode about the how a kid this day can just go, instead of playing a Game Boy Advance, they can play every game system ever on their computer.
Yeah.
So it's like
yeah. I can't remember what the fuck I was going to say, but it was going to be very smart and intelligent
and very sexy.
So far, it has been. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. Anyway, fuck Reddit. Wait, actually, that was what I was going to say. I hate this new trend I'm starting to see where millennials are turning into boomers, and I'm desperately trying. Case in point, like, everything I just said,
like physically walking through some sort of magical gate.
Yeah,
that too. But just like mentally, we're starting. You see fucking comments and tweets and all this shit where millennials are starting to talk like like boomers. Like talking down on Zoomers the same way boomers talk down on us. And it's like, you know how shitty this feels, so don't turn around and do it. Like, there was that chick who went kind of viral for like getting mad at Gen Z for trying to cancel Eminem. And then she recorded like a diss track to Gen Z. And I was like, oh my God, stop. You're making all of us look like
that is not
idiots.
how I thought this story was going to go. What the fuck? I thought it was going to end with that.
I've got lots of twists today. But it's just, I don't know, I'm just so like, it's just like, you want to shake these people and be like, you know how this feels, stop it. You're getting old. Just accept it.
Yeah. I feel like that is sort of like maybe like a universal problem that people are going to have being popular in some sense through like multiple generations. Because it's like, for all we know, by the time we're like 40 and 50, like, imagine we're all still super fucking relevant YouTubers or something, and people dig up our videos and they're like, guys, you used to use the word boomer? Like, do you know how offensive we consider that now? It's like, oh, fuck. Dude, we used to say that shit all the time. This is a problem.
That's ageist.
I think Justin Wang retweeted something that really spoke to this whole thing, which was like, millennials for the longest time, our defining trait was being the youngest. And now that's like no longer it. There's people who are just like, don't know what the fuck to do with their identity. And so that's when they start lashing out at like Gen Z or these people trying to be like, oh, they're so weird. And then you end up with Gen Z Hospital, the funniest SNL skit of all time.
Oh, God.
So it's kind of weird in the reverse, though, where like a lot of the boomer hostility towards millennials in the past was like, haha, they're really young and they're dumb and stupid. And now it's like, it's getting to the point where, like, I think some millennials are like 40 now at this point, right? And they have like houses and mortgages and stuff, and like an entire generation and a half below them. Like, it's a weird criticism now.
Yeah.
Like, they're old enough to be the president. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the great divide between like the have and the have-nots is like technological literacy, but I feel like it's not just, do you know how to use a phone / the internet? It's, it doesn't matter how old you are, it's were you going to take the time to learn how to use a phone and the internet and, a computer and what have you? Because like, regardless of how old you are, if like, imagine we're all cavemen, right? And then I show up with like a box that's like, yo, you got to push these buttons in a certain order, but when you do, it sucks your dick and gives you 1,000,000 coconuts, which are the only things that exist in our culture. You know what I mean? Like,
Coconuts,
it's literally the greatest thing. It's everything, right? When someone's like, bro, this is fucking stupid, I'm just going to jerk off myself and get my own coconuts. I was like, bro, are you high? Did you not listen to me describe this box? Learn to use the box. Like, nah, dude, you fucking kids who grew up already having a box can learn to use that box. I'm going to get my own fucking coconuts. You kids don't know how hard. It's dumb, man.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, the coconut box caveman.
You got to simplify it, because if I just say, because I'll make this conversation, because like I have like immigrant parents, right? They don't know how to use the internet. And now like they have to learn how to use the internet as like functioning members of society. My mom has to take like online courses. My dad's bank doesn't let him pay the fucking like mortgage or whatever in person anymore. And now has to like learn to use their website. And he's like, fuck, I thought I could get away without using a computer forever. And it's like, no, I've been saying that, you idiots. Now they're calling me like, hey, listen, I'm sorry you spent all those time playing Counter-Strike and I yelled at you, but can you please teach me how to pay stuff online? And it's like, coming full circle, bro. It's getting really irritating.
Did people do this back in the day when, I don't know if you guys will be able to answer this because you weren't there back then either, but do you think that the boomers of earlier generations were like that with cars and radios and phones and stuff?
Oh, absolutely.
They figured they could get... Okay, go ahead.
What was the equivalent? You think radios?
Well, it's like...
The closest equivalent,
stuff,
I mean.
Throughout all history, there's like examples of like manuscripts or poems or like stories or diaries and shit where the generation, the like old people, the previous generation are lamenting like, oh, the next generation's fucked. They're driving themselves to ruin. Like back to like Greek times, I'm pretty sure there's been fucking like manuscripts found like carved into walls or whatever the fuck, where they're like saying, "Oh, next generation's doomed." So it's like, yeah, it's never gonna stop.
Oh, so they were like, I'm never using paper.
Yeah,
it literally is that.
But here's the like paper or like a caveman refusing to use fire. Like I make that super dramatic sort of comparison because like it's the internet. Like think about like maybe not the early days where nobody could afford a computer and it was like you could beep boop your friend and he could boop beep you back. But like when it got to the point where you could literally share any piece of information, when video games were becoming a thing, when like you didn't need to own a map anymore, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. People are still like, nah, dude, I'm just gonna keep driving my fucking 92 Chevy to my job at the PowerPoint, never touch anything with a screen again. Like it's so dumb, bro. It's not even like I don't want to learn what the kids are into, right? It's literally like I don't want to increase like the value of the capabilities of my life by like 1,000-fold by learning to use this thing. It's like that dramatic of a shift to just decide, nope, don't want the internet. Fuck that.
So yeah, it is weird when it's like, oh, literally all the information you could ever want, all the entertainment, all the like literally whatever the fuck, and you're like, nah, I'm just gonna sit in front of the TV for 6 hours instead.
I'm gonna watch some Springer.
I do know that it's not like all families, but I do know like a decent amount of people whose their parents, they technically do use the internet, but like they get their kids to kind of like do it for them. They'll be like, can you Google this for me? And it's like a whole layer of learned helplessness that just kind of like, oof.
That'd be the fucking worst. I'm glad I don't have that.
Yeah. I'm curious what the next step is. Like, what is it that us as
kill them
late 20 to early 30-year-olds, like what are we gonna refuse to use? You know, like is it gonna be the jacking off coconut machine? I sure hope so.
It's gonna be the equivalent. Well, no, I mean, it's hard to imagine, right?
Sex robots.
We definitely do that. Yeah.
How do I turn on her vibrating pussy? I want to fuck this.
Do you think there's going to be something in our lifetime that's going to be as dramatic of a shift as the transfer of information at light speed? Like that's the real question, because there hasn't even been as much stuff like developed or technologically sufficient to change your everyday life in the last 30 years or whenever the internet was invented as there was like the last 200 years before that, since whenever cars were first made, you know?
Right.
I've thought about this a bit because I keep thinking like, what's the shit that like we're gonna see future generations do and get iffy about the same way our parents got iffy about us spending all the time on the computer when we were younger. And I think maybe it could be VR. Like I know a lot of us have VR and play VR and it's cool, but like it'll probably get to a point where it's good enough that people can literally be in it 8 hours a day and people will be in it for 8 hours a day. And so imagine you're a parent, you come home, you see your kid just plugged into VR, just fucking slack-jawed, and that's just like where they live. Like they're not even in your world anymore, essentially. And I guess that's probably the equivalent of our parents coming home and seeing us sitting on the computer for fucking, all day after school till you go to bed.
Playing
that's something I'm like
for 12 hours.
But we could still, you could still change the end of that story by just not doing what your parents did, though. Like, I would still find it difficult to see anybody, like, even if I was 20 years older than I am now, when would I have kids that would use the internet? Say I'm 25 years older than I am now, right? What's that make me, 50? Right? And I see, like, my kid is spending 8 hours a day in VR. Like, I'm not somebody who's never used technology anymore. I understand what VR is. I've probably watched it develop over the course of time because I'm a, technologically appreciative dude. Like I follow new phones and computers. I don't see a world where my kid ends up doing something for 8 hours a day that's technologically adjacent that I don't myself also want to partake in. I don't see a world where any one of us goes, yeah, dude, that fucking VR thing, that sounds crazy. I'm not touching that. I think that's the difference.
True. That's actually a really good point. Yeah, because like, especially like I think like for me, like even like, a few years ago, like thinking like, oh, I can't wait to see, where technology goes. Cause I fucking love VR, like I want to see more of that. I want to see that advance. So I think you're absolutely right. I think that we are more technologically open-minded to where like, I'm down to put a fucking microchip in my penis and have it, do spins and shit.
That's actually another good point. Yeah. Microchipping and shit. That might be one where we're like, I don't know if I want to start implanting shit, but obviously there will be people who do. But yeah,
cute cyberpunk music.
Do you think they're going to invent wireless food?
You got to give us a description here, Lars.
Like
that's just spaghetti without the spaghetti.
Wireless spaghetti.
You're just like, oh, I want a pizza. It, like gives you a pizza.
Gives you or like transpurgates like directly into your stomach already.
Pizza time.
What? No, like a hot pipe and slice of pizza just kind of, just shows up in a plate and you get to eat it.
Wait. Oh, like in
so like very fast Uber Eats is what you're describing. Like very fast Uber Eats. The food
materializer thing from
like through the Wi-Fi they give you the pizza.
Dude, this
like
was like my dream as a kid. Like I remember, I specifically remember being a kid and sitting in front of my TV and just like praying for the day when a commercial comes on and I could press a button and it'll like materialize underneath my TV. Like whatever, like if a Pizza Hut commercial comes on, I'm just like, I really want a meat lovers.
Pizza Hut.
Pizza time.
And it just like, bam, reverb farts under my TV.
I've thought something similar, yeah.
That's been in a movie, right? Like in some sci-fi kids movie
Smart
where like
House.
they work in the Pizza Hut product placement that way.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like the replicator from Star Trek.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
Or Smart House with the milkshakes that come out of the kitchen counter.
Yeah, or a third reference that everybody knows.
Yeah,
it's in Back to the Future too. There we go. I knew it.
I just think it'd be really cool. Like you're just sitting there and you're just like carbonara. And it's just, you get a carbonara or like beer. Give me a beer. And it's just like you get a beer.
Girlfriend.
Oh, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where he has the candy bar on the screen and he just reaches in and get it. That was always such a mind fuck as a kid. I was like, that doesn't even make sense.
Oh, dude. Okay, I have a story. Okay, speaking of which, so it's just kind of cute. Me and my friend Chris, back in the day when I was in like 3rd grade, we spent a lot of time brainstorming ideas for a video game console called the UN screen, which is it was a video game console where you'd physically jump into the TV and it would be like VR through that. And it was just funny because like we were naive enough to the point where we thought, well, of course this technology is going to be developed during our lifetime. Like obviously you'll be able to jump into the screen probably like 10 years or so. So we spent the summer just like planning the console and everything and all the games that would come out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that sort of shit.
It's basically VR in a way.
Yeah, I just finished playing Persona 4 like last week, and that's the entire premise of that game is jumping into the TV.
Oh, really?
And Blue's Clues.
I mean, there's
actually,
also
yeah.
like a murder mystery and stuff, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's also Blues Clues, which I think Persona's based on.
I do a pretty good Blues Clues. You want to hear my Blues Clues?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's him jumping into the picture frame.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
pretty good.
bomb's
No.
battlefield.
Yeah. Now, can you do child on the playground telling you that Steve killed himself?
I can do Mickey Mouse telling you to fuck off.
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay.
Hey, kudos, fuck off. Haha.
Now, can you
Mickey, I trusted you.
can you do Hank Hill calling me a racial slur, a Hispanic racial slur?
Hank Hill, if I could do one voice acting thing very well, I like just gifted to me the ability to, like, not like I also have that kind of skill to do other stuff, just to be able to do one voice. 100% Hank Hill. 100%. I can't even come close, and he's so versatile. You can say anything. I'm going to order a pepperoni pizza, and it just sounds fucking hilarious as Hank Hill.
Yeah.
Now listen, Peggy, I'm not saying anything disparaging about their culture, but they are stealing our jobs.
I think the trick is just to open your throat. God dang it, Bobby.
Here's the thing, though.
I'm going to lick my ass.
I'll work on it later.
See, but Hank Hill would never call anyone a racial slur.
That's
Least
true.
of all you. So, like, that just does not compute. Like, you can't even say it in his voice because
That's true.
that wouldn't exist.
I don't know. I mean, hearing him say John Redcorn over and over was pretty
John
close, in my opinion.
Wait, speaking of racial slurs, you guys familiar with Danny Gonzalez?
I am.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. I was speaking of racial slurs. What's everyone's favorite?
Well, wait, I've heard of him. I haven't watched any of his stuff.
Okay. Danny Gonzalez
I like
and
Danny.
Drew Gooden, I just want to point this out. If there is a H3H3 hole in your guys' heart once Ethan stopped uploading actual videos and switched to the podcast, those are fantastic replacement channels.
I don't think they need a plug. They're pretty big.
They do good stuff, but
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
are
they are
they are
really
literally
fun.
bigger than every one of the 4 of our channels combined. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you?
But
You have to check for a
continue,
second.
please.
Well, I just wanted to point something out to you, by the way. I'm going to put a link to this in the chat. This is an XKCD comic. That was for the 10,000 people today who just haven't heard of those channels. Like, I realize they're very popular, but, you can't hear of everything.
Oh, wow, you had that on lock.
Yeah.
Well, there's an
Do you have a shortcut for
XKCD
that?
for everything. That's the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
the idea is there's probably like 10,000 people out there who haven't heard of them, and maybe someone who's listening is one of those 10,000 and has a lot of good content to go look for.
Right. Have you guys heard of Obama?
Oh, speaking of, there's also this really good channel I found recently called SumitoMedia.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's tie it back into our guest. Do you guys remember that from last week? How you guys kept doing that? I can't be the only one who gets that.
Yeah, I remember that. That's a good reference.
That's a good reference.
Do you want me to explain the slur thing?
Oh,
Sure.
yes.
Yeah, go.
Forgot that's how this
that
started.
kind of
Jesus.
came and went.
Or we can just move past it. That's fine.
No, well, you should probably explain yourself.
So, Danny got in trouble like a couple weeks ago for like one of his old YouTube Rewind videos referencing, I think it was Jake Paul using the B slur against Mexicans.
Yeah.
And he had to like eat a lot of shit for it.
The B
Wait,
slur.
Danny
The B
said
word.
it, or Danny
he's-
played a clip of him saying it?
He said it in the sense that he was referencing someone else saying it, like he was admonishing them for it.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
But he
Well-
said the slur, and the term, if you're not familiar with, I'm not going to say it, but it starts with bean and then ends with
It's
Nobody can say it.
it's in the chat, but
I
yeah,
can say
that's
it,
yeah.
but I feel like who knows? Eventually, maybe 10 years from now, even people of that race might not be able to say that word. So I'm going to
Right.
refrain.
There's one person that we elevate who's allowed to say all slurs, and we have to defer to him for everything.
What color is he, if I can ask? Is he a rainbow?
Well, his last
all
name
of
is
them.
Gonzalez.
Oh. Well,
No, wait.
Well, he's white.
No, we're talking about
Here's-
my fictional character. I think.
it's not. I mean, here's the thing. I remember getting asked, sort of like, do you see yourself getting canceled for anything in the future, and like what entails that? And my response was very much sort of like, you forge the silver bullets that can kill you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Danny Gonzalez
Mm.
isn't getting in trouble for saying that phrase. I don't think anybody would, like, barely anybody considers that a slur. Who's getting upset about that unless you're using it to specifically, like scream at a Spanish person, or I think it's even like specifically Mexican people, right?
Yeah.
But it's
I
because
think people
Danny
getting offended is the 14-year-old white girls on Twitter.
No, it's not even that. It's Danny Gonzalez's audience, because he's built his audience upon being better than other people and pointing out like shitty Instagram accounts, and like he forged those silver bullets. If Danny Gonzalez's here's the example I use, right? At some point, somebody pointed out that like Liza Koshy was like poking a dead fish that she bought at the grocery store, like sort of like as a joke, like, oh my God, it's dead, it's gross, right? And somebody tied correlations to like Logan Paul tasing a dead mouse. And it's like, it's two different levels, right? But at the end of the day, they're both doing something to a dead animal. Do you care about a dead animal or do you not? Because in both of these cases, it's sort of disrespectful to be making a video out of it. And it comes to your level. There's a fucking clip of Michael Reeves yeeting a fish back into the water, right? After catching it on a fishing line, which if you gave a shit about fish, you could call animal abuse. But Michael Reeves' whole thing is that he doesn't care about sea life. He makes jokes all the time about overusing plastic straws and fuck sea turtles. His community isn't going to try and come for him for that. Right. But if you build up a community of people who are looking to cancel other people, or looking for people who they consider less than the Lord Danny Gonzalez, example, every person on Instagram that he's showing to be a charlatan, every person that's overflexing in the terms of Nerd City or whomever, PewDiePie making videos about it. Yeah, you're going to get held to the same fucking standard that you're holding other people up to. Of course you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. By the way, speaking of which, John Swan's back today on Twitter.
I caught wind of that.
On. Before we talk about John Swan, I have more to say on this previous topic.
Okay.
Hit me with it. Lightly though.
Talk about slurs.
Okay.
Say a slur. Sorry.
Don't show weakness. I think we talked about this before, but yeah, the other thing, in addition to what you said, Sumito, which was on the money. Yeah, you definitely you kind of sow your own seeds, I suppose, in that regard. But also, if you show weakness, I think that's the other thing. If you fuck up genuinely, yes, you should like apologize and make amends. But if it's like, and I do sympathize, because sometimes like the minority can seem really fucking loud. Like if you've got like 10 people in your replies being like, "Why the fuck did you say this?" That can, even though it's such a small group, that can seem like a much larger group just with how those words affect you.
Right.
But I think it's like you need to kind of consider what impact that actually has, and whether or not addressing it is going to help anyone, or if anyone actually gives a shit.
Like the Burger King thing.
Because if you do it once, like now people know they can get a rise out of you, because there are people who are just out there to get a rise out of people.
No, people are just going to look to take down Danny Gonzalez at their next up. People are actively looking through his old catalog to see what else he has done at this point, because he's put out an apology now. 100%.
Exactly.
It's also interesting. Absolutely. It's like on the topic of YouTuber apology logistics, like he ended up doing this kind of 10-minute, fairly emotional apology for this, where he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. It was so wrong of me to do this." Do you think maybe the play was actually to just say something more like, "Yeah, I can see how even using it in that context was probably a bad idea. I'm sorry. Let's move on." Probably would have been like a better play.
That's the thing. Yeah, I think like just the fact that it's like, "Oh, look how much you can get out of me." And again, this isn't knocking him or whatever, but it's
I love his content.
I love his stuff too. And he's obviously like a genuinely really nice guy, but it's like you have to realize that the people, you can't overcorrect. In my opinion, I think it's definitely just, what you said, Lars. I think that's probably the way to be like, or even just stand your ground, be like, "Look, I wasn't saying, I was quoting the guy.
Yeah,
it's not a common slur that like people use, or you could say, I didn't realize how bad it was or how it affected people, and I apologize for that. But like, I wasn't saying it in order to disparage anyone. I was literally quoting someone and making fun of them for doing that."
Right.
So it's like, just take that with what it is, and maybe let's move on. I think that'd be more the way to say it. But what the fuck do I know?
I mean,
John Swan's back though. Welcome back, John Swan.
Yeah.
I did miss him.
I will point out that the general audience has more or less forgiven iDubbbz for literally saying the N-word, because he was critiquing Tana Mojo's use of the N-word. So I think the fact that Danny Gonzalez is both, I'm assuming, some part Spanish, because his last name is Gonzalez, and was using a slur in the exact same way that iDubbbz was, but is literally of the ethnicity that you would call somebody that. If anybody was going to get a pass for it, it would be somebody who was as well liked on the internet as Danny Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Danny's actually white. I think he did a video explaining that his last name is Gonzalez only because of like, I don't know, some like Spaniard ties. Not even Spaniard, but like Europe. I don't know.
I mean, he's not going to get canceled by the dude who owns 23andMe. You know what I mean? Like if he wanted to use it as a defense, I'd believe him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Ace Attorney as 23andMe. Objection! You're not Spanish.
His fans like steal some of his blood at the next meet and greet and like double check that he's allowed to say it.
It's like when Keemstar tried to like absolve all of his N-words by showing that he was like 3% African or something. Dude, by just screenshotting his fucking DNA test.
Dude, it's kind of funny. Like we're talking about silver bullets that you build yourself. Like, so, you know, people like Danny Gonzalez, whatever, have this set up themselves to be cancelled for something small like this. On the flip side, iDubbbz does the complete opposite, but then when he turns around and says something like Danny Gonzalez, aka I don't mind that my girlfriend has an OnlyFans, I think sex workers deserve rights.
It did come back and bite him in that regard, yeah.
So like it goes both, like if you go against your audience, whether they are very edgy or very PC or whatever it is, like you're gonna catch flack.
Exactly.
I think that was all kind of overblown though. I don't think he actually suffered for that long term whatsoever.
I think it doesn't even matter.
We always say that though. We always say, "Oh, this is overblown. This doesn't matter." Blah blah blah. Like literally, this exact conversation has happened with Shane Dawson the first time he apologized. People are like, "What is he even apologizing for? This isn't even that bad." But then, like the tumbleweeds start coming, the trust starts taken away. Commentary channels start getting a little more traction when they use his face as clickbait, and then 3 years later, the dude's off the internet. Like this is always how it starts. I think though.
Yeah, but I think that's fairly situational, like depending on what it is they did. Like I feel like Danny Gonzalez like offhandedly saying the B word. I feel like it's fairly innocent in like the in comparison to like things other much larger creators have done that have kind of snowballed into even worse shit. For sure. Know? I think it's definitely situational, like as far as what they've done.
It's not literally a character in blackface. Yeah, that is true. He's a little better than Shane Dawson. I'll go on the record with that.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that doesn't come out next week.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that the link to John Swan's return tweet that Tom has linked in the chat, the first 9 accounts I have muted that are replying to it.
That's a good, how many? I was saying about this the other day. How many? Do you guys have anyone blocked?
Everybody in the commentary community, yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like not muted, like blocked.
Not blocked because I know they'll take the satisfaction. SumitoMedia has me, but muted. Yeah, they never show up on my timeline. Yeah.
Cosmodor.
Which one is that?
Yeah,
he's an animation YouTuber we had on the podcast, and then he turned out to like out himself as a pedo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
me.
Yeah, he just dropped a he dropped a community post. He was just like, yeah. So when I was 19, I groomed a 15-year-old.
He tried to Dr. Disrespect it. He tried to get ahead of it.
Yeah, except the problem is he was grooming, not cheating on his wife.
Yeah, you can't come back from that unless you're EDP. Which can I just say, EDP is like
fist bump.
I've never seen someone attempt to come back from being a pedophile. Like. I mean, the same gusto he has.
Like EDP doesn't care about doing. If EDP gave a shit about doing the right move as an online personality, he wouldn't be live streaming to YouTube with titles like "I couldn't take a shit this morning. I'm so irregular." LOL, where he does a 4-hour unedited clip of him improperly air frying chicken tenders and frozen fries before eating them with half a bottle of ketchup and bitching about the Eagles. He's done that 4 times in a week.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The dude doesn't give a shit. If he cared at all, like the dude does, like people are like making a deal out of it, like, oh, EDP comes back and acts like nothing happens. He probably doesn't fucking know anything happens. He probably hasn't even seen the tweets you're making calling him a pedophile. He's probably sitting at home going, yeah, I pulled a fast one on those motherfuckers. They didn't catch me doing shit. And is now going back.
Where's my YouTube channel?
Huh?
Oh, so then he's like, but where's my YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah, like he just gets deleted. He keeps clicking live and doesn't realize no one's there.
Yeah, he just talks for 4 hours straight.
Wait, okay. I don't feel like we've talked about Sumito's channel at all this entire episode. I feel like we should for a second.
Or maybe we've talked about nothing but his channel.
We can if you want to. My my whole goal is to make whatever podcast I'm on, like, try and be the most entertaining guest. We don't need to plug my shit if you don't want to. But
dude, this has probably been one of my favorite episodes, honestly.
Whatever the cadence is for you guys.
I've been looking forward to this one for fucking ages.
Yeah, I was drifting in and out for the first 45 minutes, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Lars was multi-trick drifting.
Not because I was like bored or anything. I'm just like having some stuff going on.
No, it's a long day. I saved half a pizza that I had delivered just before we started recording so that I could have something to look forward to keep myself like awake. Like, you're not going to bed right after this. You got half a pizza. Pay attention, Sumit.
Yeah.
I had a half a pizza before we started recording from last night, and that was like to perk me up for the podcast.
Nice.
So we've got 2 different pizza strategies.
Yeah, man. So my name's Sumit. I go by Sumito with all my online monikers, and have like started going by SumitoMedia just because the first big collaboration I had on my channel was with internet historian who just called me SumitoMedia the entire time. And I was like, fuck it, that has a nice ring to it, and I can like sort of, I always wanted to have a nice Japanese name ever since playing the Yakuza game, so I was like, SumitoMedia, I could do this.
Yeah.
But I started making my channel as it's a little bit of a life story. Basically, I was sucking ass at college, right? Like, I was not doing well. I was in an engineering degree, and I was taking like Calculus 2 for the second time in the summer to try and get like a C, because when you're in engineering classes there, like, you can't even get a D and like consider it passed. You have to get a C in your core classes. In your maths and your sciences, you have to get a C or better. And it's like Calc 2. It's like not easy math. Well, for me, maybe it's easy for some people, but it's like not easy. So like I fail it, and then I'm paying like another $3,500 to take the class again the next semester. And I was like, bro, I have 2 more math classes after this, like 2 more years of college between community college and actual college. I've been doing school for like 5 years now. I'm nowhere near my degree. I got to do something else. So I was like, fuck it. Let's try and be a YouTuber with like nowhere near the amount of enthusiasm I'm even saying it now. And I started uploading videos. At the time, I was like, I got to do something weekly, because I'd taken a few swings at YouTube prior, and I had like put up like music videos, and I'd done like technology reviews because I worked at that computer store. And so like when we got like a new laptop in, when we put it on display, I could take like pictures and stuff of it, right? Because it was out of the box and it comes out tomorrow or whatever. I was like, oh, I can put this on my Instagram or whatever. But that became tough because I can't leave with the stuff, right? And like make reviews of it. And even then, I can only do it like once a week. It became a whole headache. So I was like, I need something that I can do like at my computer, no other resources, don't need friends to help me. I tried doing a channel with my buddy where we like, like challenge videos and shit. He wasn't available half the time. I wasn't available half the time. All of this led me to, listen, if you want to make a YouTube channel, you have to upload every week, and you have to do it alone. It has to be something that you don't need gadgets, you don't need cameras, you don't need to leave the house, you don't need your buddy. You need something that you can sit at a computer, and if you need to, for 9 hours straight, put into an editor and come out with something every Monday, Wednesday, whatever, something. So I narrowed it down to either doing reviews of hip-hop music or memes. And my girlfriend was like, you haven't listened to any new music since you were in high school. You're not going to do hip-hop. And I was like, you got a point. So PewDiePie had just done like his first 4 or 5 episodes of meme review, the good ones. And I was like, oh, this is brilliant. Yeah. He's like sharing memes, but also like tricking you into learning the history behind the internet. This is like so solid. So I basically started doing that. Eventually I got up to the rhythm of doing, I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I was doing 3 videos a week, but they were basically the equivalent of like scrolling through Twitter, except I was reading the memes out to you. It was cringe. It was so bad. But then I got a green screen. I got a better camera. I got a little bit more confidence, and I started including my face. I started including my opinions and what have you. And it was around this time the Internet Historian at the time had, I think, 1.5 million subscribers, was doing research for a video that he was going to do on Instagram stealing memes from a subreddit called r/dank memes, and then retaliating by adding watermarks to their memes or making them very long so that Instagram couldn't steal them and put them on Instagram and stuff like that. I was doing 3 videos a week, so it wasn't even like a question. Like, of course, I ended up covering it. Internet Historian found my video in doing research for his own video, reached out to me on Discord, and was like, hey, man, can I steal some of your clips for this video that I'm doing? Follow him on Twitter. We message each other. I learned after the fact that he had as big of a channel as he did. And then some number of months after that, or maybe a month after that, after dicking around on Twitter, he was like, hey, do you want to come on it was basically a podcast on a second channel. And it was around that point that I was like, okay, I'm doing videos consistently. I've got like 1,500, 2,000 subscribers at this point. Larger channels are noticing me. This is as safe of a bet as I'm going to get. And I ended up dropping out of college sometime around that weekend. Probably like 6 more months before Internet Historian actually put up the video with me and him. Shot up to 10,000 subs. And now I've just sort of consistently been putting out videos. That was 2.5 years ago. And now, as of just about 2 or 3 months ago, I'm now full-time on YouTube doing basically the same thing.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
How fucking yes.
By the way, Wikitubia says that you have COVID. Is that true?
Yeah. I think might have
Okay.
actually been what led me to having appendicitis, because I had COVID at the end of December 19th, I think. It was a little before Christmas. And then the better part of like 3 weeks being proper sick, 10 of which were like incapacitated. The 10 days in the middle, I did not leave my bed. And then I got better from that. At that point, I'd not been to work in 3 weeks. So I got back a little bit, but effectively put in my 2-week notice. Like, hey, I can, my savings are starved, but I don't want to keep working here. And then beginning of February, whatever that timeline is, less than 30 days later, about 30 days later, was when I started having pains that turned out to be appendicitis.
Yeah.
Oh damn! So you've really had a fucking rough year so
It's
far.
not-
or
it-
last few months, I suppose.
Taking it in stride now, yeah, because I quit. I'm 26, right? So if you're in America, that means I don't have insurance when I got hit by COVID, and then had to have a pretty serious operation done, which is very not poggers.
Right.
Yeah,
But I think it can't get worse. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at it like, if I quit my job, I had just barely made enough money with the stimulus money we were getting to be able to pay my rent and stuff. And now that so much has happened, it's like, oh, there's no fucking chance I'm going to fail at being a YouTuber. It literally is impossible. If that's still my A plan after all that, fucking nothing's taking me down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah. It's epic. That's inspiring. And as mentioned at the start of this, you have your first sponsor. So my man's starting to make some fucking some of that good beans.
That guap.
That fucking penis milk.
Lars has linked my social links in a post in the chat. Did you copy all of that from my WikiTube? Because the Twitter is Some Ordinary Gamers.
Yeah, no, I didn't. It was a little joke in the chat.
So when I was in the hospital,
Lars, you cheeky bastard.
You little racist.
when I was in the hospital, I tweeted out that I had appendicitis with sort of like throwing up the peace sign in my hospital bed.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to me, because I'd been out of commission for like 7 days at this point, in bed, and then immediately going to the hospital and recovering. And somebody goes, dude, didn't this just happen to you like a month ago? And I was like, what the fuck are you on about? And it turns out that Some Ordinary Gamers, who I've always shared a bit of a resemblance to, also had appendicitis and had put out almost the exact same tweet about a month earlier.
So weird.
So many people tagged him in that post where I said, hey, I just had appendicitis, I'm okay, that he DM'd me on Twitter. And I do this thing where I'll DM people on Twitter knowing that they won't respond. I've done it with like Nerd City, PewDiePie, and a few other people. So I DM'd him and like 9 months ago, and I was like, yo, Mutahar, everybody keeps saying that I'm the Walmart version of you, but it's chill because you seem like a good guy. So he messages me to like reach out because so many people are tagging him in the street. And he goes, yo, man, hope everything's okay. I also just had appendicitis a month ago. And he's also like, oh shit, I didn't see this message from 9 months ago. My bad, dude. I was like, no, it's fine. You weren't supposed to. We weren't supposed to meet this early. I'm speed running this shit.
that's fucking awesome.
So basically,
That's
confirming you
classic
actually
appendicitis.
you have 2 appendices. So that was really unfortunate that that
It's
happened
ridiculous.
to you twice.
Yeah. One had one removed in Canada, the other one removed in the States. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 very different experiences.
Yeah.
From what I hear.
I'm worried I'm not going to be able to reach out to like G Fuel or anything because they'll be like, didn't we already give you a discount code? And it's like, guys, we can't keep making this joke. I need the money.
All right, so Mutahar, if you want to go ahead and follow your stuff, what's the best way to do that?
Oh, yeah. I am SumitoMedia on everything. So youtube.com/Twitter/Twitch.tv/Instagram/ it's all SumitoMedia. You can catch me on those socials.
And for the audio listeners, you do have a slightly idiosyncratic way of pronouncing that. Can you spell it out?
I do. It is SUMITO Media, all one word.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a bit of a fever dream for me, but
Every one of these
Let's,
episodes is a favorite dream for me.
let's go and wrap then. That was our thought.
All right. I'm gonna keep saying Sumito because it feels right. I'll say Sumito. Fuck it.
I
Sumito-
can't even tell what the difference is. Go for it.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna say Sumito. Sumito, go ahead and end the podcast.
Yeah, sure thing. If you guys enjoyed listening, be sure to rate us 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, Tunes.pods.
that's the
and
one.
if you guys want to use any of our discount codes, it is Doplex/Narway.kudos discount code. The third
Narway.
podcast.
Get a discount of minus 20%. It really only helps the company, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do.
That's the link they sent us, and that's the link we're going to use.
And thank you again to nonmutilatedcorpses.org.edu for sponsoring today's episode.
They're surprisingly intact.
Apologies to anybody who wanted us to talk about John Swan. We totally got into that.
Apologies to anyone who wanted us to talk about Sumeto, by the way, for the most part.
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half into the show.
My thing with John Swan is I just read it like John Tron's intro. Like, John Swan! Anyway, let's end it there.
Have you ever like messed up your audio so bad that you've had to fucking like Liam Neeson? Okay, I know that I clapped twice here and 3 times on this clip. Let me fucking triangulate. Okay, that's good. And then gotten the audio sync? No, just me?
Yes. Oh yeah, all the
time. Well, we've had it as well where I don't think I was here for this, but didn't like the guest, their audio fucked up and then the bot that records it fucked up, so you guys had to do a re-recording.
Yes, Ethical, the boneless pizza guy.
The boneless pizza guy.
We actually never did that re-recording. We got to do it.
Yeah.
Shit, it's been like a year.
Top 5 lost pieces of first podcast media. Number 5, Lost Dave Captivale, Ellie the Kitty, and Glink episodes. Number 4, Lost Ethical episode and Lost Stepper episode. Number 3, Lost Reboot attempt. Number 2, deleted early episodes. Number 1, gas station boner pills image from episode 188.